I'm very excited to be back over at NYC virtually. I've done this trip a few times in the last year. It's been lovely.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully in real life at some point. But a big hello to Maddog. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well. It's hot and humid over
Yeah.
here right now.
Where are
I
you?
just
Where are
like
you sitting?
smelled my armpit. I'm sitting in the I'd call it a backyard. It's a cement backyard of the building that I'm staying at in Brooklyn. We're in
Yeah.
Bushwick area.
Oh, nice.
So lots of concrete, some greenery
Mm-hmm.
is happening. My buddy was doing some spray painting
Yeah.
out here earlier, so that's
I
fun.
mean, it's
But
like
yeah,
if you could
this
just
is the
say it,
backyard.
yeah, like it feels like a very Brooklyn like set. I could see like
It
it's like,
is,
where are you? I wonder.
yeah, and it's hot as hell. So
Yeah. No, great, nice. You were just telling me a little bit before we came on about your plans to hopefully make New York
set some
home.
roots
Yeah.
down. Yeah, so yeah, a little bit. So I'm from the Midwest. Not born, but sort of raised. But I was born in Atlanta. I've lived in Chicago, Detroit, all over Florida. I've done stints in Nashville. I've lived in South Carolina. I mean, I've moved around a lot, mostly as a child. But grew up. I say I'm from the Midwest because that's where I've lived the longest. Um, and that's where I reside right now, kind of like Indianapolis, outside Indianapolis area, kind of more towards Bloomington. Um, but yeah, I'm in New York right now. I had some gigs here this past weekend. I'm coming back in September to play in Manhattan, and just I think this is definitely a contender uh, for me to set some roots down here, hopefully
Great.
in the near future. But I'm waiting to see what Miss
I
Coronavirus is
know, right?
doing.
Aren't we
What she's
all?
planning. I know, but hopefully, if I don't know, I'm getting tested like multiple times a week over here. So
Yeah.
hopefully, if I'm nice to her, she'll be nice to me.
Okay, good. I
That
hope
kind of
so.
thing.
How's it? So gigs, tell me about how's it been getting back out there? Has this been quite a recent thing that you've been out be able to do gigs again, or is that have you
uh,
managed to do them for a little bit over this year?
yeah. So I actually, when lockdown started, obviously no gigs whatsoever. But I kind of transitioned very quickly because I was just like, I'm sure like everyone else is like, how can you just can't you can't just stop and
Yeah.
like where's your income?
Yeah.
And so I went virtual like really quick. I was doing stuff on Twitch, and then so I was doing
Yeah.
shows that way. I was doing programming like 3 times a week that way, and then I was like about 6 months into it, I was like, I need to do something different. I'm paying rent. Like if I'm paying rent, I might as well go pay rent somewhere else and get something for it. So I just spent the last like about 7 months in London,
Yeah.
studying at Point Blank Music School, getting a
Cool.
certificate in music production and sound engineering. So I was over there.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I wasn't. So I was going to school. I wasn't really doing shows, but I did get the opportunity to do spin on like Bloop Radio, and I did like a live stream at the cause, and so I got a little gigging in, but I was mostly there just to like gain some knowledge,
Yeah.
which I'm really grateful for, and I think I'm really looking forward to put all of that information that I learned like IRL
Mm-hmm.
into production. Like we were talking about remixes and like
Yeah. Yeah.
collaboration, taking all that knowledge and making some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
yeah, so I just got back end of June and kind of just hit the ground running with gigs again, and I might kick myself later for that. But yeah, it's been a cool. It's weird, you know. It's not the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've gone to shows. Well, you just
So
opened up recently,
yeah, we did just like
last week.
literally like last week. So, but do you know, I haven't had the chance to even go out to see any gigs or anything yet, or even really be out. Like, I haven't gone clubbing or anything yet. Um,
How do you feel about that? Does it
yeah, I
make
mean, I'm like,
you?
it's funny, do you know, like there was a period when I was so desperate to go dancing, like I
Mm-hmm.
would have like given anything to do it, like I was that's
Right.
all I wanted to go and do.
You just move your body.
Yeah, just move my body, and then, but I feel like I don't know. It's weird that now it's kind of yeah. I'm not sure like the needs there as much. There's like something that's shifted. I'm not sure. I think it's. I still want music. I still want dancing, but I've managed to sort of find it in like other places that not are
in
not
other
necessarily
avenues.
always. Yeah. So I mean, you know, I say this and like obviously probably at the weekend I'll be out clubbing, but or gigging, you know. But I think I'm quite like a I think anybody that lives in a big city knows this as well. Like, I'm quite spontaneous, or like I want to be spontaneous. I want it to be like, oh yeah, let's just do this, you know, because the mood kind of takes you. And I think
Hmm.
that spontaneity is kind of everybody's not as much spontaneous as they used to be. Like that's kind of gone away a bit. So
Right,
I hope that comes back. I'm just not a very good planner of like deciding I'm going
right.
to do stuff. So maybe that's part of it as well. But
Well,
it will
that's
come
kind
back.
of what I'm seeing. That's kind of what I'm seeing is like the people who the numbers aren't there,
Mm,
obviously, um, and but like you can tell that people are hungry for it, and it's
yeah,
funny. I'm seeing a lot of people who I've noticed. I'm seeing a lot of folks who are like turned 21 during the pandemic, so
of
this is their
course.
like first like experience going out. But like more people in their late 20s, early 30s, like our age, I don't see
Mm,
really out in the numbers that I was
that used to
seeing.
be.
So yeah, so we'll see. I don't know if that's going to change or what, but or like we were talking about like digital streaming and all this stuff. So I think I don't know. I think people are doing a lot more like house parties and just like
Well, like totally. I mean, that's kind of just the thing that you've been able to do, and I guess that's you're a bit more
I
used to
think
that now
that's
as
taking
well. And like outside stuff as well. Like you know,
outside stuff.
when the weather's nice,
Right.
it's like I want to be outside.
Amazing.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll
So
see. We'll
it's
see.
a different experience, but yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, I'm gigging again. I'm having fun. I've got a year and a half of fresh tracks that I've just been like sitting on and like
Amazing.
eager to play. So yeah, it's been really good. It's been really fun,
So what came
and
first? What came first for you? Was it the DJing or the producing or like what was your kind of order of getting into it all?
so I as far as like professional DJing, I think I started like fairly late in my career or whatever, just because it was something that like I didn't see a lot of women doing.
Hmm.
I'd never seen like a female DJ in real life, like ever, until I started doing it myself in my hometown. That was like one of the reasons why
Yeah.
I started DJing, because I was just going out. All these male DJs weren't really speaking to me. Like the music that we're playing wasn't speaking to me. The parties were just like meh. I was and you know, as someone who has like grown up loving dance music, living in Chicago, living in Detroit, living
Hmm.
in Florida, you have house music is on the radio. You've got like, Florida, you've got tons of like Afro and Latin beats and like, peak 90s, Alice DJ, Vanga Boys, all that stuff's on the radio. Like you're just hearing that stuff constantly. So I always loved dance music, like CC Music Factory, Ace of Base. Those were some of the first like albums and CDs that I like ever purchased. So as a lover of dance music, I'm going out constantly and loving to dance and just seeing these parties and I'm like, I can do this. I can do this better. So like that's kind of like how DJing started, and I started doing that kind of like later on in my 20s. And I think it took me a while to like conceptualize like, oh, this is something like as a woman I can do, because as like growing up, I always had friends that were DJs in college and always go to their parties and support them and dance and be like the hype girl or whatever. But it never really crossed my mind as like, oh, two turntables and a bunch of records, like, and all these people like dancing and loving it and just sweating out. I can do this too. That it
Yeah.
like never crossed my mind until like my late 20s. I was like, something clicked, and I was just like, there's absolutely no reason why I can't do this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like how my DJ journey took off. But like
Nice.
I always, as a kid, was like messing around with whatever like free production software that was, just making little like two bar like sequenced beats out of just like, you know, the beginnings of like Fruity Loops and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like the early stages of that. But like it never really got super into it until I started DJing, and then was like, okay, this is something I need to add to my repertoire if I want to like take this seriously. I need to start remixing. I need to come out with my own edits. I need to, you know, have my own tracks. Like that was something about a couple of years into DJing. I was like, oh, okay, I need to
Hmm.
do this. So, and again, that's how I spent my quarantine was, you know,
Well,
going to
good way to
production
spend it.
school. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. That's what I figured. Is like, if I'm gonna bleed money, I might as well bleed money and like
Yeah.
get get something for it. You know what I
Totally.
mean?
Yeah.
So I think all yeah. So I think all the elements were there, but it took, I think, my DJ career to take off for me then to like acknowledge that music production was
Mm.
something that needed to be a part of me as well.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. I guess that's probably quite a the journey maybe from DJ to kind of the production side of things. I
Yeah,
guess.
I think it is super common. I think
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, I think it is really super common, especially when you start listening to so much music and the volumes of music that you listen to. Like I can't. I listen to like I don't know. It's like a full. I mean, it is. It's a full-time job plus overtime. I'm listening to music
Yeah.
constantly, and there's just, and as you know, as an artist, there's so much music out there
Hmm.
to sift through,
Yeah.
and it's just like constantly I'm listening to music. So after listening to music for so long, you're like, you get ideas and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I like this part of this song, I like this part of this song, and this would be cool. Or you hear like, I just watched this Bee Gees documentary, so I went through like the Bee Gees catalog, and there's this that track More Than a Woman.
Hmm.
um there's like this beginning string chord, and I like happened to have the record, so I was playing it, and as I queued it up, it made this really cool like, and I was like, oh my god, I can like throw that in a sampler and make something. It's like your brain
Yeah.
starts to
Yeah.
just like fire, and then you're like, okay, I need to make music. This is ridiculous.
I love that. I love that moment as well when you just like, oh, and then you let go of it, and then do you have this moment as well where your brain just it goes into music mode, and suddenly it's like 5 hours have gone, and you're like, oh wait, like what happened?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you've gone into a
and then
tunnel. It's so nice. I love
and
it.
and then how all that happens like super like serendipitous, right? It's
Yeah.
almost like there's other like
Mm.
things at work there. It's just like, it's like
Yeah.
if I didn't watch that documentary and if I didn't just happen to have that record and then
Yeah.
just cue it up the way I queued it up, like would I have even heard the sound that
Exactly.
came out of my speaker? It's just like, so now I have like, I have a
Or-
long list of like notes and like emails to myself of like, sample this thing from this track or blah blah blah, you know, refer to this thing, or like, it's insane.
I love it. I love it. And speaking of remixing and production, so one of the tracks that you're presenting to us to play is Gregory Dillon, who absolutely love. And
Gregory and
heck,
Gregory's out of Brooklyn. I just met up with them the
cool.
other day. Brooklyn superstar boy.
Yeah.
But love Gregory. Super awesome dude.
Oh yeah, like amazing, amazing pop tunes and like really like loads of levels
Super
into it.
catchy.
Yeah, really
Like
catchy
just
and
like
like
hook you in. Yeah.
really uh, um like you can tell his voice as well. It's very like specific vocal delivery and stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so tell us about this remix that you are part of, so, and with Hectic as well from London, who obviously I know
Yes.
myself from having remixed one of my tracks and chatted to him on
Another
the show.
amazing
So
dude.
yeah.
Love Hectic. That's my
Mm.
homie. So yeah, Gregory Dillon. So Plastic Ferrari. How that came about was actually one of my instructors over at Point Blank, who is located in London, manages Gregory Dillon. And they were like, I have this queer artist that is amazing, and I think, and they're looking for remixers, and I think like you would be up their alley. Like, take it, listen through their discography, see if anything pops up to you. And I heard Plastic Ferrari, and I was just like, immediately, I was like,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, like, look, I'm wearing a bright
I
pink
know. Well, I
shirt.
was
Like, I'm
gonna say
super
also you
neon.
got this in London, right? The t-shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's
UK
from
Hannah.
Philip Normal.
Yeah, yeah, felt normal.
Um,
Yeah,
so
representing.
I heard that song and I was just like, okay, this speaks to me. The tempo is great, like lyrics are great, it's super catchy. I was like, this is awesome. And um, so yeah, I was like, of course. I told my instructor slash Gregory's manager, of course, like, can I have this step? Is this okay? Can we do this? And Gregory okayed it. And of course, like Hectic and I work together with this trans artist who's in LA called Mina Banks, and we've done a remix for her together as well. And we've kind of stayed in touch after that. So I reached out to them, and you know, because I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to collaborate again. And of course, they said yes. And so that's kind of just how that came about. And we worked on that during, yeah, the COVID lockdown. And the we just dropped a video for it earlier
Mm.
this month. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. Should I plug? Is this where I like insert my plug for where you can like listen to it?
Absolutely. Insert that. Insert the plug. We're gonna play it as well. But yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
lovely.
Tell us
Spotify.
the plugs.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, music videos on YouTube. You can find, yeah, Gregory's on all the channels, Instagram, TikTok, all that
All
stuff
the
that we're
things. Yeah.
doing. But yeah, awesome dude. Hectic as well. You can find them on Spotify and Instagram, Hectic Tracks. But yeah, all great dudes, awesome collaborators. But yeah, this was really a lot of fun to work on because I was like channeling my inner like Aqua for this and like hyper
Yeah.
pop. So this was a lot of fun, and we actually did this whole production through Zoom because of COVID. So that was like my first time collaborating entirely through Zoom,
Mm.
not with the other person in the room. So
Yeah.
it was like it was really interesting and challenging at times, but I think it was a good exercise because I think this is kind of like, at least for, especially when you're working with producers from other countries and stuff, um, kind of just like not not the future because it's already happened, but like my personal future
Mm.
as far as like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can kind of
totally.
collaborate like with like we were talking earlier, like
Yeah.
possible collaboration with us. This, we
Yeah,
would be
totally.
working through Zoom. So it was a good experience
Possible, isn't
overall.
it? It's
Yeah.
good to know that it's possible. And I think before, for me anyway, I was always like, oh, I would also have to meet people in real life and make connections that way. But
Yeah.
actually, I've made, I would say, in many ways, better connections over this last year this way as well, because I think it's
Isn't that wild?
felt like, yeah, I don't know, it's felt like truer, or I don't know yeah, I don't know what it is really, but I think sometimes if you're like in certain places or whatever, I think there's a lot of like self consciousness maybe about you need to be in the right place and you need to be speaking to the right people or whatever. But this, I don't know, this way it's just like there's
You're
no
in your own
pretense.
space, you're
You're in
more
your own space,
comfortable,
exactly.
less
Yeah,
distractions. Yeah. So
yeah,
it worked
yeah,
out. I mean, I enjoy it. I don't know, like, if I prefer it over the other way, but it's just
yeah.
different.
Yeah, I mean, making music in the room with people is its own special thing as
Yeah, it
well. But
is.
this is pretty good also.
This'll do.
This will do. And is there anybody else that you've got that you're wanting to work with in the future? Anyone lined up that you can tell us about, or
I
anyone
mean,
you've got your eye
obviously
on?
you.
I mean, yeah, obviously,
Um,
thank you. Sweet
obviously
talking me
you.
already. I love it.
Um, well, you know what? I just kind of like. It's hard to say because it's like I never know until like I meet the person or talk to the person or see their art or just like make a connection. I kind of like, as far as like creative collaborations, I kind of just let the universe take the wheel because that has been the absolute best. And like we'll talk about the trashettes in a little
Yeah,
bit, but that was just like 100% the universe at work, and that was just like, and same with Gregory, like that collaboration would have never happened if COVID didn't happen, if I
yeah,
didn't go to London, if I didn't have this specific, instructor, none of that would have happened. And now I
mhm,
have this like amazing pop banger. So I kind of just like, it's hard to say like who would I want to work with when it's like the universe has been so great to me. And like I feel like I kind of, especially COVID taught me just like let her just take the wheel,
Yeah.
because if you're open, great things are gonna like come to you. So I kind of just like, it's hard to say who I would want to work with, because I kind of just like, so many great people pop into my life, and I think that's the best way to make
Yeah, totally.
that
And there's so
connection.
like I mean, like we've said this already, just there's so much music, but there's so many
So
amazing independent queer artists. Like just I I struggle to keep up. Like within that, which is kind of if you look at the wider music industry, is like a very niche like market, whatever. But it's like there's loads of people doing amazing stuff
right.
like all the
I
time.
can tell you, someone who I'm not sure I would want to collaborate with, because they're like godlike, but someone who I would have liked to like maybe have as like a mentor, or just someone to learn from, would have been Sophie, the
Yeah.
producer. I just feel like, and I'm nowhere in my production game close
Mm.
to that like arena, but if they were still present on this earth, I would have loved to just sit in the room and
Yeah.
like watch what she does, because I
Mm.
just, and I feel like that would have just been like absolutely magical.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think you'd be one of many,
Right, just like
with
sitting
that.
there drooling.
Yeah, exactly. No, totally. But like what an influence on so much music, but like particularly in kind of this arena of kind of electronic and queer and all
Completely
that
new
amazing stuff.
genres.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Just me. Yeah, exactly. Like uh, setting the pace, setting the boundaries, whatever phrases
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Totally
Changing the
just
game.
setting the
Yep.
bar for
Setting the
like
bar.
queer pop.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. And so you mentioned the Trashettes. Tell us about this.
Absolutely insane, absolutely trashy, absolutely amazing. Like I can't even, it's hard to describe the Trashettes, but again, I'm going to plug them so everyone can just like
Absolutely.
go check them out themselves. Um, but they're, let me pull up my phone so I don't like say the wrong
Oh
like
yeah,
Instagram handle, because if you're just one letter off, then you're like
that's
sending
it.
followers to someone else. But so yeah, you can find them on Instagram at the Trashettes LDN. But check them out. They're a trio of two trans women and a non-binary person, and they just make like absolute like bangers. We did a track called Money Talk that's like kind of more like hip hop esque. Like they sent me a bunch of reference tracks, and it was like Cardi B and Money and like some Nicki Minaj and stuff like that. So we kind of went in that element, but now we're working on like a disco track. So it's just like all over the place, but absolutely amazing, super queer, super fantastic, super like kind of like, I mean, to be queer in society is like a revolt in itself, and like, I mean, it very much continues that attitude of just like burn everything down.
Mm, right.
So it's
Rebellious
amazing.
queer.
Rebellious queer, just like unapologetic trans and non-binary bodies. Like it's just, oh my god, it's amazing, and just the way that we came together, again, super serendipitous. Like it was just absolutely amazing. Like the way I met them was through my Airbnb host that I just happened to resonate
Yes,
with
love it. Okay, great.
for school. So super amazing. Again, the universe is awesome to me.
That's yeah. Well, yeah. If you're there and listening, ready to say yes, I think that, and then you're going to get some good things.
Yeah, some
Oh, that's
great
cool.
trash.
Great trash, lovely queer trash. I love it. And what does the queer community mean to you? Like rebellion. What? Yeah. What else?
I
What's so
mean,
good
yeah,
about it?
rebellion of like societal norms and like all these restrictions that we have been kind of spoon fed our entire lives to like think of,
Mm,
like the way that our lives are supposed to be planned out. Like, we're totally, and I don't know how you feel about this, but like from, you're taught that like you are supposed to go do this certain amount of schooling, and then you're supposed to like get your perfect job, and then you're supposed to find the perfect husband or wife, and then you're supposed to procreate, and then you're supposed to have this house with this like cute picket fence, and then you're supposed to like, all these things. You're supposed to like do these things, and to like, I think to be queer is just saying like, I don't know if I can say that.
we could say F word, just yeah.
Okay, I'll just say F
But we'll
you to
know
like,
exactly, yeah.
yeah, F you to like everything,
Yeah.
because, in that, to be queer is not in that picture perfect setting that kind of society paints for all of us.
Mm.
So, I mean, and you can, and like, and to be queer is kind of just to be on the cusp of like everything creative. Like, if
Yeah.
you talk about dance music, disco, it all stems from queer culture,
Mm.
specifically Black queer culture. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, just to be on the cusp, and to be like the future, basically. I
Mm.
mean,
Yeah,
I
totally.
don't know if that makes
And
sense.
so yeah, but solely like, but really good to remember exactly like where these reference points and who went before you and who fought for you
Right, and I
in
think
that.
that's what every single specifically person in electronic music and DJing needs to know, where
Mm.
these genres that they're playing, like all these like cis white boys,
Yeah,
need to know where
where
the
this came
music.
from.
Exactly. It's almost like I teach a lot of workshops, um, to all ages, all identities, all genders, and I love it. I'll have like a 10-year-old girl and like a 50-year-old trans woman in the same class, and we're all learning the same things, and we're talking about
Right.
the history of dance music, and we're talking about turntables and mixers and all these things. So
Mm.
I think it's really important that anyone who is a lover of dance music and interested in DJing and dance music should know the history of it,
Yeah, totally.
because you're profiting from it.
Hmm.
I'm profiting from it.
Yeah.
you know? So,
Yeah, totally. I went just in London at the weekend. There was sort of in a similar vein. There was a march, like a pride reclaim Pride march.
oh yeah, I saw
So
pictures.
yeah, yeah. So like it was amazing actually. Like so Pride, the official Pride isn't happening until like September or something. But
Hmm.
this was a kind of like, this is not a corporate event. This is what the real meaning of Pride is, and
Yeah.
also thinking about particularly our uh, black trans queer siblings who fought for us and queer rights, and sort
Hmm.
of just
And just the
remembering
pride
that journey.
movement in
Yeah,
general.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was really joyous actually. Like I was so glad that I got to go along and just it felt like really, yeah, kind of any of these things that have kind of protests and things that have come up in the last year to like really really meaningful because it was literally just a protest and it wasn't attached to sponsored
Right.
by whoever. It was just literally the reason that it should be. So
Well, and we
that's great.
and we were talking about the trashettes, and this happened in June. I did a live stream for Indianapolis Pride, and it was an hour set, and I had the trashettes with me,
Hmm.
kind of just like because I wanted it to feel like you were in the room with us, you were in the party. Like, I had a videographer, and he was getting all these like different shots, and we had like two different
Yeah.
cameras, so I wanted to feel like you're in the room with us, you're partying with us. And the trashettes were just being the trashettes. They had their outfits on, and they were just doing all their antics. um, but the pride was sponsored by Salesforce,
Ah.
and about 15-20 minutes into the live stream, like, they had my video. I sent them multiple versions. I sent them one of just like some VJ stuff, and then the one with the trashettes.
Hmm.
And so they chose to stream the version that they chose. And I spoke with them prior about explicit content in the audio, and they're like, it's fine as long as you don't have anything offensive. Like, obviously, I'm not going to want to offend, have any racial slurs or anything.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that. Am I going to talk about people's genitals? Yes, it's Pride. I love sex. Who doesn't? So, um, and so they had all this information. And about 15 minutes in the stream, they cut the video, but the audio is still playing. And then they turn it back on. And I'm like, that was weird. I was like, I think I'm getting censored here. And then they do it again. and then they leave the video off and they just let the audio go. And then about 30 minutes into the set, they just cut everything. So like our live stream just got completely censored because I think they were just like, oh my God, this is crazy. Salesforce is not going to sponsor us next year. Oh my God, what is happening? But it's like, who is like, if we keep getting all these like huge corporate sponsors, it's like, who is this? Yeah, like you said, who is this pride actually for?
Yeah.
What's
the point in it? Is it just for money making? Is that what we're saying? Yeah.
Is it for real, like the real queer folks, like, or is this for like the cis white, like heterosexual families who just like want to be a part of it and feel like woke?
Yeah.
Like
to tick some boxes in the way.
Yeah. So I feel like I came into contact with that in the real world, just like the other month.
That's really interesting.
We were just shocked, and we sent messages like, "What? Like, why are we censoring trans and non-binary bodies? This is strange." And never heard anything back.
That's not good. That is not good.
I know. So it's happening for sure.
But no, absolutely. So I bet there's loads of people who can tell stories about that. It's always the same of like then when Pride season appears, suddenly like, we're looking to book some queer artists finally. Right. Oh, but also, are you going to pay them anyway? No.
Right. Will you pay like $25, $30 for our rainbow shirt?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Took us like 1 minute to concept. Yeah.
Yeah. All of that. But that's why we're going to make our own things as well. That's what we're going to do.
Here.
If you don't find the party that you want, make it yourself. I feel like that probably is where your career has stemmed from. It seems as well, which is amazing. I think that's a great way to go about it. Long may it continue into many more parties. Maddog, so lovely to meet you and chat to you.
Also lovely to chat to you.
I feel like I'm just with you in Brooklyn for a little moment.
Yay! Well, yeah. If we land here permanently, you have to come out and play a show. That's the thing. I want to have a base where people can like come and hang out and play, and then go back home and just do their thing.
Can we do it on a roof in Brooklyn? I feel like that's kind of what I want. Or maybe a basement. Both. From the basement to the roof. Yeah,
exactly. Sunset roof, basement at the night.
Great, sounds good. Amazing. Oh, well, thank you. So lovely to chat to you. And great to play your tracks as well. Look forward to many more in the future. See what collabs.
Yeah, I'm gonna plug myself really quick.
Absolutely, please do.
So you can follow me at DJ Maddog True. It's DJ MADDOGTRUE because True's my last name. I'm on everything: TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. Look me up.
Great, fab. Thank you so much. Is there any projects around the corner that we should be aware of, or?
So I've got a Trash It's song that we're working on. Again, it's a disco track. Very cute. We're still in the recording process for that. That's really, and then obviously like constantly there's always beats in the pipeline, but just never finished. I'm sure you can relate.
Yep.
You just have folders and folders of like unfinished items of business. But yeah, I think that's the thing that's in the nearest future as far as like releasing tracks. So be on the lookout for that.
All right, we will do. Well, thank you so much. Have a lovely day over in NYC afternoon.
Thank you.
We head into our evenings. And we'll see you somewhere making the music.
See me somewhere.
All right. Exactly. Take care.
Sign off. Bye.
Bye.